Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be responding from HackMyVm. This is a box short about Medium, and yeah, we'll be as enjoy. I'm starting by setting my terminal start. I'm starting by running a net discover my SR 10.0.0.1/24/IT0. Doing this, we do type in the box 10.0.0.154. So we'll do Control-Shift-Z, so we'll do mmap count, so we'll do mmap -sc for default scripts, -v for the range, was kind of ports on IP. Doing this, I'm doing -v verbose. Look at the ports. We do port 80 pin for HTTP. Some servers in port 80. Visiting port 80, here we do the answer. We do get your answer is the answer, and it is outputting the time. So we do Control U to the source code, and it doesn't seem like a new thing. So I'm going to start by doing some enumeration, running in GoBuster. We'll do GoBuster dir mode -u into the IP address. We'll do -w first hash user share word list. We'll do the Buster directory list to the medium.txt. We'll do extensions as HTML, TXT, and also PHP. Look at the ports. We do port 22, which is filtered for SSH, port 80 open for HTTP. This is running Apache for Debian distribution. We do have the HTTP title as the site does not exist or does not have a title. Look at the GoBuster. We do have an index.php. So after a while, we do have file manager.php. It does seem like this is a status 302, so maybe this is a redirect. So I'm going to visit file manager.php, and we do see that this is a redirect to index.php. So doing this, I'm going to start by saying this within curl. So clear this, I'm going to start by using curl. We'll start by specifying -v for verbose, -x for, we can either start by specifying a GET request or maybe a post request. In this case, I do want to get the content of file manager.php. So I'm going to be saying this as a GET request for HTTP 10.0.0.154 on file manager.php. Look at this, we do see this is the 302 found. And we do have the location of index.php, which is just redirecting back to the main page, which we do have index.php here. Using wfuzz, so I can fuzz for a parameter. So do wfuzz -u, what's the IP address? Let me zoom out. So do !fuzz, which is going to equal to /etc password. We'll do -w first /user share word list. We'll do lfi. We'll do lfi params.txt. We'll do -hw so we can opt out for the status code. Looking at the payload, we do have a payload as random. So I'm going to start by saying this within curl one more time. So do followed by the parameter, which is going to equal to /etc password. Look at this, we do get the /etc password file. Look at this, we do have a user as Elliot, since we do have bin/bash, rohit for bin/bash. Also do have a user as root. Doing this, I'm going to start by checking for, we did have a file manager.php. So I'm going to copy this and start by putting this within the lfi. If it doesn't let us view the contents, then that means we can start by using a PHP wrapper. I'm going to start by checking and take off this -v. Doesn't seem like we do get anything. So I'm going to go to payload all things. So I'm just going to go to, so go to file inclusion. I'm just going to do Control F to PHP wrapper. So here we do have a PHP wrapper for convert base64 encode.php. So I'm just going to put this in front of here. Instead of this index.php, we do want this to equal to the file manager.php, which now we do have this in base64 encode. You can either start by using CyberChef, or you can either use echo, just manually echo it, pipe this out to base64 -d. And under here, you do see that we do have the file name for the parameter for random, which we did fuzz for. And it does seem like we do have a private key. So I'm copy this and vi into id_sa. I'm just going to right quit. I'm going to do chmod 600 for id_sa. I'm going to do chmod 700 for id_sa. We cat the id_sa. And you do see that we do have a private key in here. Looking back at the /etc password, we did have the user as rohit, Elliot, and also root. So maybe we can start by, so you can use those keys to SSH into root. Looking back at the port scan, we did see that we do have port 22, which is filtered for SSH. So doing this, we can start by looking for like configuration files for like /etc knocked.config. So we did have, maybe there's some like port knocking that we can do. I believe this is under /etc knock.config. Or maybe we can start by specifying, checking for like IPv6, which is, I believe, is under procnet if_net 6. I believe it was a procnet if_inet. It was inet6. And we do have that. So I'm just going to take off this -v for verbose. And you do see that we do get the interface for EMP0S3. We also do get allo. Here we do have the IPv6, which we can separate by 4 sections, right? So doing this, we can separate each 4 sections by the colon or semicolon right there. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we do have our IPv6. Just to confirm this, we can also put this like an IPv6 validator. Put this in here. And we do see that this is a valid IPv6. So doing this, I'm going to put this, I'm going to VI into my /etc host. We're going to put the IPv6 followed by the host name, which I'm just going to put responder. I'm just going to right quit. We can cat this out. So we're going to mmap, we'll do -6, and then we'll do -n for IPv6. And we do see that we do have port 22 open for SSH on the IPv6 address. Doing this, since we do have port 22 open for SSH on IPv6, we can start by using SSH to SSH and use that private key. So we can do SSH -6, so we can specify IPv6. We did have the IP address as, we did have a user as Elliot and also Rohit. So I'm going to start by specifying Elliot at the IPv6 address. We can also start by specifying %sign followed by the interface. By default, we do have the interface as 880. It seemed like this is denied, so we can maybe do -i for ID_SA. It does seem like it is asking us for an ID_SA passphrase. Doing this, we can just start by, since we do have the ID_SA, we can use SSH to John. So we're going to user share John. We do have SSH to John. We start by specifying ID_SA. And I'll put this to like a file.txt. So now we're going to use John and crack this. We'll do John -- word list, which is going to go to /user share word list for IQ.txt or file.txt. And it does seem like we do have the password as Elliot. So maybe this is for the user as Elliot. So SSH into -6 for the user as Elliot for ID_SA. Press enter on this. We do ID, and now we're going to do Elliot. So I'm somewhere running a sudo -l. Running a sudo -l, it does seem like you run user bin calc as Rohit. So do sudo, we'll run this, we'll do -u, we can run this as Rohit for user bin calc. I'm just going to start by running a bin/bash as Rohit, do ID, and now we're under Rohit. Then this, I also want to start by checking for like user bin pkexec. It does seem like we do have pkexec running as suid. So I'm going to start by searching for like maybe we can search up for like exploit pkexec. Maybe for like GitHub. So right now I'm just going to look for this right here for one. So we can just look for one file, for one .c file. I'm just going to go to raw data, copy this. I'm cd into temp. I'm just going to get this. Now we do have our CVE. So I'm just GCC into CVE. I'm going to output this to CVE, take off the .c. I can run this CVE, we do ID, run a bash, c into root, ls, and cat root.txt. I guess that's pretty much in the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.